Good Monday afternoon to everyone. Today is June 6, 2022. For those of you who are just joining us, my Uncle Jim is at studio letter A, so he left me in charge. Today's noon broadcast is now streaming live on CBS News Philly. Over the weekend, there was a mass shooting that happened on South Street. We have live team coverage on how it all started. Let's go to my future evening news reporter, Joe Holden, my uncle, as he reports from South Street on this Monday afternoon. Uncle Joe, what can you tell us?
She told me they're out here to get a sense of the area where 14 people were shot, 3 of them died, and 1 person was injured as a result of broken glass. Video shows much of the evening was chaotic along the 2, 3, and 400 blocks of South Street. A fight between 2 armed men outside a water store is believed to have been what police call the genesis of dozens and dozens of rounds being fired. Yesterday, police said they believe 5 guns could be traced ballistically to the many shots that were fired. Officers began responding after the first report for shots fired. That was again at 11:31 p.m. Police say as the minutes and seconds unfolded, 1 officer engaged the shooter, whom they say was firing into the crowd from a block away. That officer discharged his weapon. It's believed that alleged shooter was struck, perhaps in the hand, but that he was able to get away. In the violent aftermath, a total of 14 gunshot victims were scooped by police and raced to 3 hospitals, the bulk of them to Jefferson. 3 pronounced dead within an hour. According to police, 1 victim remains in critical condition, and those remaining in the hospital are expected to survive.
We're absolutely devastated by this incident. And we mourn the lives lost and the dozens and dozens of lives affected by this tragedy, not just here in the city, but obviously this is getting national attention. These incidents have an exponential effect on our community, and it not only impacts the individual that's been directly victimized, but it victimizes their loved ones, their families, and their neighbors, neighborhoods all over the world.
One major question going forward was how were police managing the crowds down here on Saturday night? Their strategy is to keep people moving. A video reviewed by Eyewitness News reflects that wasn't always the case out here Saturday night. And mind you, there were other reported shootings both before and after the South Street incident, including a homicide not 2 miles from where I'm standing after the dust had settled here on South Street. Of course, lots of questions continue. Police yesterday indicating that for a time they were indeed overwhelmed with response and crowd control out here. We will continue to follow that. We're live.
All right, thank you, Uncle Joe, for that update. In the meantime, let's go over to Madeline Wright with more on reaction from the South Street mass shooting. Good afternoon, Madeline.
He says it's been that way since October. Now, take a look at this video. The ice cream surveillance cameras captured the shooting, though the owner did not provide the footage. He showed it to me, and it appears to show 2 men arguing and then pulling out a gun and shooting each other, sending crowds running for cover. Numerous bystanders were struck by the gunfire. In the wake of recent violence, including a shooting on Monday, Calhoun said that businesses on South Street held an emergency meeting with police the very next day on Tuesday last week and agreed to close at 10 p.m. to discourage people from coming to the area. My colleague Ross DiMattei spoke to one city council member who says that the city may need to take business closures a step further.
If we don't have a plan in place to keep people safe, to keep our businesses safe, to keep our visitors safe, to keep our residents safe, then we need to shut it down at a certain time because we don't have the ability to do that. So until we could come up and devise a plan, I think a curfew should be in place.
Do businesses around here would respond positively to that?
No, I think they would be upset, but I think we need to work with them on what a plan would look like.
Residents here on South Street have a town hall scheduled with Police Commissioner Danielle Outlaw on Wednesday night. This was a meeting that had been set up prior to Saturday night's mass shooting. I'll have more reaction. reaction from the community and residents' concerns for safety beginning tonight at 4 p.m.
I know that you can keep us up to date for that. Thank you, Madeline. Meanwhile, my Aunt Waukesha Bailey spoke with one of the witnesses who shot video of the scene. Good afternoon, Auntie Waukesha.
Really moments right before that shooting is Jeff Ford, who you actually sent us some video, Jeff. Can you kind of describe what was the tone where you were at the time?
Yeah, so we got to Patty Wax there on 2nd and South Street right around 7:15, just to have some drinks and dinner with some friends, and around like 7:45, 8 o'clock, we just got inundated with hundreds of kids, teenagers, 17, 18-year-olds, running from Penn's Landing to and Front Street area down to 2nd and South, jumping on cars, running on cars, fighting.
How long were you inside?
We got inside around 8 o'clock, and I'd say 11:15, we saw a window where the mob kind of moved down the street, and we were able to just get home. That was our aim, was just to get home. So, and luckily we did. Moments after that, minutes, was when the shooting started happening.
Could you tell that the tension was escalating and that it would eventually lead to a shooting, or what were you guys thinking at that time?
Very much so. I mean, that was the reason why we got there. I mean, we were kind of terrified being inside, just witnessing what we were witnessing. You could definitely tell the mood was getting very, very violent.
And then, as a result of that violent night, 3 people have lost their lives, 12 people were shot, injured. What's your response to that?
We got to do better. We have to do better as a city. I mean, I know the cops' hands are tied. I know they would like to get involved. They were there. They were ready to do stuff. They were ready to step in, but there was, the presence was small. There was only 4 officers there on the scene, and you can't do much when there's 400 kids violently attacking each other.
And once again, there you have it, another resident coming forward, speaking out, wanting some sort of change. Now we're going to continue to follow this story as we know.
Thank you, Auntie Waukesha. Philadelphia District Attorney Larry Krasner spoke minutes ago about the South Street mass shooting. He became emotional as he did cry with tears. Let's be honest though, let's just hope the South Street mass shooting never happens again, folks. And of course, you can stay on top of this South Street mass shooting that happened this past weekend by going over to cbsphilly.com and cbsphilly.com as well, without getting live updates on CBS 3 on air. Now to some breaking news on this Monday afternoon. A live look at the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Chopper 3 is live right now over a major crash. Take a look at this. It has all eastbound lanes shut down. This is just east of Downingtown exit 312 in Chester County. The Turnpike police said there are at least about 8 injuries, but no fatalities, and nobody has been arrested by the police and whatnot. The eastbound lanes will be shut down for some time. We do know the name of a pregnant woman who was shot and killed this past weekend in Port Richmond. Her name is Matiah Haynes of Camden, New Jersey. This all happened way too fast at Wheatsheaf Lane and Richmond Street. The baby is in critical but stable condition. No arrests have been made in the case. Still ahead on CBS 3 at noon, we're timing out the next chance for rain in our area. Plus, there's a primetime hearing this week about the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Lawmakers are being promised to show Americans that they've never seen before. And Elon Musk is threatening to walk away despite the fact that he still has a deal of Twitter's $44 billion. We'll be right back, so stay with us.